Hello, everyone. This is Jen with Jen's Den Art, and I am here today for New Technique Wednesday number 7. Come on in, say hello when you get here. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. I would first like to know that and see if I'm actually live. I don't see anyone here yet, so I'm waiting around. Say hello if you are here. Oh, I see a couple of people popping on. Good. So can you tell me if you can hear me? I'm going to type in the comments. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Do I have volume? I'm just going to wait around for just a minute to see if everybody's here. Not sure. Come on in. Say hello, please, when you get here so I can know if you can hear me. I guess I can check on my phone if anyone's around. All right, so today is, I want to make sure you can hear me first before I start talking. Just gonna wait around. Yes, okay, good. You can hear me. All right, so today is New Technique Wednesday number 7. And so my name is Ginger LaCour. I am an acrylic artist. I have an acrylic art membership that we paint together every week, and we have lots of fun. And what I want to do today is I want to go over a little color study with you that I am working on just to broaden your art journey and give you more confidence in colors. Okay, so one of the things that I've learned, I've been painting for about 10 years now. One of the things that I have learned is if you want to get better in your art, you have to paint every single day. You have to paint at least 20 hours a week to really be good, okay? To get to that level where, you know, after a few years, you really feel confident and you know, you kind of have an idea of what you're doing. So you have to paint a lot. You don't always have to paint a masterpiece. A lot of it is playing and learning and just experimenting. Okay, so don't go in every single time you start on a painting thinking that, okay, I'm going to start on this painting and it's going to be a masterpiece and I'm going to sell hundreds of them and I'm going to make prints and it's going to be beautiful. That does not always happen at all. That does not happen, especially when you first start. So there's a big learning curve involved in painting. I have been using acrylic paints for over 10 years now. And because I still feel like I have a lot to learn, I have just gotten into acrylics and nothing else because I'm still learning so much just with acrylics. So I have made it my obligation, instead of doing a little bit of watercolor and a little bit of oil and a little bit of gouache and a little bit of this and a little bit of that, I have said, you know what? I want to master acrylics. I want to get this and I want to get it good. So I spend a lot of time every week playing things that I don't post out on social media, things that I just play around with, and I end up throwing away just because I wanted to see how it was going to work. And this is one of those situations today where I'm going to show you a color study that I am doing. I have started a short lesson on color study using 2 warms and 1 cool color. And this information is going to be shared inside my membership. It is just an extra bonus tutorial for my membership. We're actually doing 4 videos. And today I'm going to do one of those 4 videos with you live here, just so you can see or kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about. So just to give you an idea of what I'm doing, I broke up a 12 by 12 piece of acrylic paper into 4 4 parts. I have chosen a color scheme that I am interested in learning more about because I don't use these colors very often, but I want to because I think they are beautiful colors. And so I took these colors. This is a cadmium red medium, which is a warm red. This is a phthalo blue, which is a cool blue. And this is cadmium yellow deep, which is a warm yellow. So I have, oh, sorry about that. Let me turn that back on. It's going to come right back on. So I have warm, cool, and warm. 2 warms and 1 cool. And then, of course, I have titanium white. I'm not using black. I'm only using these 3 colors and white. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to see if I can bring up the photo that I'm using. I'm using the same photo. Let's see if I can get it to come up. Hello, Miss Carol. How are you today? Thank you for saying hello. Let's see. Here it is. Okay, let's put this up on stage. Let's go here, see if I can do that. I don't think I can put it up on stage, but I can definitely show you. This is the reference photo that I'm using. A very simple photo. One of the things I want you to notice on it is the sky is the lightest color and the house is the lightest color. And then the water is kind of like a medium light color. It's a little bit darker than the sky. And then you have 2 sets of trees. You have your trees in the back, which is kind of like a medium value, and then your tree up here in the front is a really dark value. So if you notice on these sketches that I'm doing here, these studies, the first thing I did was I started with the cadmium yellow medium background. And every color that I put down on this sketch or this study had mostly red in the color. But what I did was I only used these 3 colors, and I used, I made sure that I had the darker values for the trees, the darker value here, the lighter value in the sky, the medium value in the water, and then the lighter value on the house. And this is the color study that happened with the cadmium yellow medium being the primary color, which is, to me, is beautiful. I love the orange background. Y'all see me use a lot of orange background in my paintings. It's one of my favorite backgrounds to use when I do underpaintings. Here is the phthalo blue underpainting. And when I used these colors here, I made sure that the phthalo blue was the primary color that I used in every single color that I mixed together to create this piece. And so that is a beautiful, beautiful piece as well that has been created. The same exact sketch, the same exact painting, just a different focus of color. So one of the things that it's teaching me is that in the past, I have used mostly a cool red in a lot of my paintings, but I feel like I really like this warm red more than my cool red. The cool red that I've been using is quinacridone red, but I really like this cadmium yellow medium red, and it's another red that I think that I can start incorporating into my paintings. You will notice when you watch an artist paint, most of the time they use the same color scheme in a lot of their paintings. You can kind of tell that you know what artist it is because of the colors that they use. A lot of artists, they decide, okay, these are the colors that I really love to use in all of my paintings, and I'm going to stay within that area, and I'm going to use these colors over and over and over. And I've been doing that a lot more lately. Over the last 10 years, I've learned that that's a really good process to follow. But I am starting to experiment with a different color scheme because my love is more of the warm colors than the cool colors. I really like warms. I like the oranges, the browns, the golds, you know, all of those colors, yellows, things like that. So I wanted to do a color study with 2 warms and 1 cool. And then I'm also going to do another color study in another lesson where I'm going to do 2 cools and 1 warm. And I'm going to compare the difference and see which ones I like better. So what I want to do with you now is I want to do these 2 down here. They don't take long to paint at all. It's the same exact sketch. So this one starts with the cadmium yellow medium. I already put that down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cadmium yellow medium with a little bit of white, and I'm just going to sketch out. You're not even going to be able to see that, so I'm going to use a little bit of the blue. I'm just going to sketch out my my area here. This is going to be my trees. Again, it's the same painting, same exact painting. I am just using a different color scheme. Okay, so everything that I do on this painting is going to include yellow in it. Everything that I do. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start with darks. I'm going to make darks. So I'm going to start with my yellow, and I'm going to ask myself, what am I going to mix with my yellow here that's going to make a dark value back here for my trees? Okay, well, if I add blue, it's going to work fine because I'm going to get a really pretty green, but I'm still going to use more yellow than anything else. So let's look at this. Is this dark enough for me? It's pretty dark. I like it. I think it's a pretty color. I would like it to be a little bit darker, so I'm going to just grab a little bit of red and I'm going to add a little bit more yellow, a little bit of red, and I'm going to make it a little bit darker. Okay, so you can see that I went a little bit darker with my colors here, and I'm just going to start focusing on the darks. Let's go with a little bit more. You don't have to use much paint at all. I'll show you right here what I'm doing. Let's take a little bit more blue. Again, mostly yellow, but I'm just trying to make a dark color with the yellow. So there we go. That's more of what I wanted. So focus in the back of your mind. Always say, I need to start with yellow. I need to start with yellow. And I'm doing a color study, focusing on the yellows. Cadmium yellow deep is the yellow that I'm using. All right. And I'm just going to keep on going with this color. Make sure you have yellow in it every time. Super fun to do this because it challenges you to do something a little bit different than what you normally do. Okay, so this is really cool. I really like that. I'm going to go a little bit lighter right here. So I want this to be a little bit more of a medium. Let's go a little bit higher right there. Really rough. I'm not doing anything crazy. Okay, so I want this tree to be a little bit darker, even darker than what I already have. So I'm going to pull some yellow, and I'm going to pull that blue and the orange in there. Now look, it's all going to work well together. See how that's a little bit darker? It's all going to work well together because every single time I'm using a color on this sketch, I'm using yellow every single time. I'm making sure that regardless of what other colors I use, there is a yellow in that color. It's somewhere hidden inside that color. And your eyes know that. You can tell that that yellow is being applied in this painting. And you're going to see how it just, you can tell that the whole painting just works well with that color scheme. Okay, so I've got my darks in, I've got my mediums in. I really like what I have going on here. It does not take long to draw this out. I'm going to just kind of make a few little branches in here. Okay, I'm going to clean that off. And now I'm going to focus on the lights. Okay, I just focused on the darks, and now I'm going to focus on the lights. So you have some options. I'm going to start with yellow. Okay, I'm going to, of course, start with the yellow. I could go with, to get a lighter color, I could go with the white. Okay, I could add white, and I could go with a really, really bright yellow. Let's add some more white in there. And that's going to make a really light yellow. And I'm thinking about the sky. What color do I want the sky? Well, the sky is normally blue. So I could add just a teeny, teeny, teeny bit of phthalo blue in it. And it's going to make it more of a green. But it's still going to be blue. It's still going to have a little bit of that blue. And I'm going to add more white to it. And I'm going to add more yellow because I don't like how green it is. And I'm going to add more white because I'm still not where I want to be. And let's grab a teeny bit of red. All right, so let's see what that's going to do. Okay, so that kind of makes like a really light, let's go with a, it's almost like a light gray. So let's go with a little bit more white. I'm going to start another color, and let's go with yellow over here. Let me clean that off because I want to do more of a yellow than a gray. So I'm going to clean that off. A little bit too much phthalo blue in that one. So I'm going to take yellow and white. There we go. Got something that I like a little bit better. Yeah, that's better. Let's go with some more white. See, that's what's great about these acrylic paints. You can just go back over it, and look how pretty that is. The gray in there is really standing out. It's making making a really good pop. You can still see the yellow coming through. And you can already look at the differences in these and how they're really gorgeous in their own way. They all have their own strengths in their own, and it's up to you. You need to look at them. Everybody's going to be different. You need to look at them and you need to say, well, which one do I like better? What color scheme really moves me? And when I look at it, which one makes me feel like, oh, I would like to do this again. Okay, so it's totally, totally up to you. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through what I'm thinking down here. This water is a little bit darker than the sky. Okay, it's not quite as bright as the sky. It's a little bit darker. Now, what I did is I added a little bit of red to my yellow. And you can see that I've actually changed the whole hue of the water. So that kind of doesn't really work because your water is normally a reflection of the sky color, and it's just a little bit darker. So instead of using the red, what I need to do is I need to go back and use the blue into my yellow. And I just need to make it just a little bit darker than my sky. And I'm going to go with that kind of like that gray. See, that's too much blue. That phthalo blue is so strong, y'all. It comes out like a tiger. So let's calm that down a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better. And you can see all of these beautiful colors. Let's go with some more white. A little bit of white. Get all that in there. So if you're going to use the red, in your yellow, which I hardly even used the red in the yellow at all. Let's go ahead and do that. If you're going to use the red, you're going to want to make sure that when you use the red, if you use it up here, and it kind of makes like a gray, you're going to want to use it down here as well because they're a reflection, okay? So I'm just going to use a little bit of it here, and you can see how beautiful that is. All right, so let's do our house. And our house is going to be the lighter color. So I'm going to go down to a little bit of a smaller paintbrush, and I'm going to go with some white and my cadmium yellow medium. And I'm just going to draw out my little house. The first part of it is just basically going to be a house. And then right on the edges, I'm going to go with a little bit of a roof coming out and then straight down that way, making that a little bit lighter. Get those values right. And let's add a little bit of beautiful orange to our house. I think it'll look great. So yellow and orange is what, or red, I'm sorry. I'm saying orange, but it's really red. And that looks good. Let's go with a little bit more yellow. Get that, there we go. And then I'm going to go back into the darks. Let's clean that off. So the darks, if you remember, was our blue and our yellow and our red all mixed together. I'm just going to mix those up. And I'm just going to kind of trim this out with that dark again. Very loose. I'm not trying to make a masterpiece. I'm just playing around. There's my windows. There's the frame of my house. And let's just add a little bit of that in here. A little bit of white. And there we go. We've got our yellow. Now, honestly, my favorite so far, and I hope y'all, I don't know what y'all think, but my favorite is the orange, or is the red. Okay, I really like the red. I like the warm tones. And I'm just going to keep on going. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do one more. And this one's going to be, let me clean that off. This one's going to be a combination of all of the colors kind of evenly distributed. So the background here was even amount of blue, yellow, and red. And what it did was, I didn't mean to do that. What it did was it made kind of like a brownish gray. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and draw this sketch out. I'm going to sketch it out and do one more color study. And this one's going to be with the three colors evenly distributed throughout. So I'm going to take a little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue. That blue is so vibrant. And a little bit of red. And I'm going to mix those together. And I'm going to start with my darks. So this is super, super dark. Very dark. Now, I feel like it's a little bit too green, which means that my phthalo blue really overpowered. So I'm going to add a little bit more of the red in here. Yeah, and that kind of calms it down just a little bit. So I'm going to bring in my trees. The trees in the back are going to be a little bit lighter. So I'm going to grab a little bit of white. Whoa, that's a lot of white. Let's calm that down some. I'm going to grab some more yellow, a little bit of blue, a little bit of red. Get a little bit more of a medium value. That's much better. See that? That little bit of white really made a difference. So that's a beautiful color. Look at what color I'm making here. It's almost like a grayish brown color, and it's beautiful. It really is a beautiful color. So I hope that this is showing you how three colors can make so many different paintings. You don't have to have, I'm gonna be facetious here. You don't have to have 92,000 colors in your color, even though I love to buy color and I buy a lot. Sometimes it's fun just to buy a pretty color just because you like it. But you can make so many different paintings just with 3 colors. And you can change your color scheme just depending on how much of one color you actually put into your painting. All right, so here's the beginning. We've got our darks in the back, our super darks right here, our medium darks here, and then we're going to go with the lights. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take more white. I'm going to take more white. I'm going to bring this up just a little so y'all can see it. And I'm going to mix a little bit more yellow, a little bit more blue, a little bit more red. Same amount. Oh, I think I went a little crazy with my red there. Yeah, looks like I did. So a little bit of that, a little bit of that. Okay, so this is almost the same value as my background right here. So in order to make that a little lighter, I'm going to take some white. And I'm going to take more white. And I'm going to make it a beautiful, beautiful gray sky. Very nice. Very nice. And this, my friends, is called a color study, where I am teaching myself about my colors and what colors I like and how I can use them in my paintings. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit lighter up there, a little bit lighter. And then I'm going to come back down. Let me add a little bit of water to that. And then I'm going to come back down here just a little bit darker. A little bit more yellow, a little bit more blue, a little bit more red. Now that looks a little bit too green to me, so I don't want to use yellow and blue. I'm going to add just a little bit more red and a little bit of white. Still a little bit too green. So I hope you can understand my thought. Now I'm too red, but I'm going to go with it. Okay, if it looks a little bit too green to me, then I'm thinking to myself, I'm not sure if I told y'all this before. I'm thinking to myself, well, green is made with blue and yellow, so I don't want to add any more blue and yellow. I want to add the other color that's opposite blue and yellow, which is going to be your red. So that's why I chose to add more red to my color. And I'm going to make my water down here kind of like a medium color. Isn't it pretty? I like it. I like these colors. See, I like the warms so much better than the cools. All right, so let's go with our house. Our house is going to be this same color. We're going to make it a little bit lighter. Let's just draw in our house again. The roof. And the side. A little bit more white. Perfect. And then my darks, I've got to make a little bit more of my dark again. A little bit of each color. Let's get in there. Now, the reason why it's not as dark as I want is because I didn't clean my paintbrush off and I still had white on my paintbrush. So I'm going to make my little windows. Oh, I made those windows a little different, didn't I? That's okay. this color in here is a little bit green. But I like it. I think it's beautiful. I love all of the different colors. Let's go in here and just kind of blend that in a little bit more. All right. So when I'm all said and done, I've got hello, Melissa and Lisa and Bean and Mary and Candy and Amy. Thank y'all all for being here. Fun color study. Again, I only used 3 colors. I used red cadmium, red medium, which is a warm. I used cadmium yellow deep, which is another warm color. And I used phthalo blue green shade, which is a cool color. And by using 2 warms, I'm trying not to tear this, but I'm doing a pretty good job of tearing it. Well, that's just going to be torn. Let's go this way. I was able to study my preferences, okay, my color style, my own personal color style, okay? So one of the things that I am learning about myself, I'm going to try to get this off without peeling it too much more, is I am much more of a warm color painter. I like the warms. I like the reds, the oranges, the browns, the golds. When I look at this, I'm going to zoom out, my personal preference, and again, this is totally just about me and what I love. I love what I've learned. I learned a lot. This was my favorite. This is my least favorite. And this is my second. So first, this one's first, this one's second. And probably, yeah, I guess this one's third. These are kind of a tie for my least favorite, but I like these 2 the best. So again, which one do you like the best? Do you like the red, the blue, the yellow, or the combination of all 3 colors together? And take this as a learning experience. Take what you've learned. Here's one of the things I've learned. Look how beautiful this green color is. I love it. So just remember, you know, what you did to make that color and use it again in your paintings. One other thing that I do with color study is when I decide on my colors, I know it's not very organized. This is about as organized as you'll get from me. One of the things I want to do is I want to get a string and I want to put it in my art studio. I'm going to put my face back in the camera. I want to get a string and I want to put it up over my colors over there. And I want to get some little like clothespin hangers and hang these up. So what I do with these is I keep them and I write down what colors I used to make these colors. And then when I'm in the middle of a painting, for example, like this painting right here that I'm working on, and I might be struggling with the color of the sunflowers. Okay, what color sunflower do I want? Well, I'll take my color swatches and I'll kind of like stick them up in this area like this. I don't know if I have, like, look at the green. Isn't this green beautiful? But it doesn't go with the turquoise table at the bottom. So I take my color swatches. This is a beautiful color. Okay, and I can see, okay, this is raw umber and cadmium yellow deep. That would be a beautiful color for the center of the sunflowers. It would really match well. Here's a beautiful color that would probably go. Indian yellow is a really pretty color that would go. So I have all of these swatches and I play with them. Here's another one, burnt sienna and lemon yellow. That's a really good color for my sunflowers. So I take all these swatches. I know they're unorganized. Eventually, I will put them on a string and I'll have them just set up in my room. so that I can refer to them when I want to use them, because I have a pretty common set of colors that I have decided that I really love. Burnt sienna is one, burnt umber, cadmium yellow light, cadmium yellow medium, cadmium red. I have some really ultramarine blue. I have some really prominent colors that I have learned that I love, that I use in my paintings. And it may not be the colors that you love. It might not move you, but you can still paint the same painting and use the same techniques, but learn your color choices and use your color choices in the same kind of painting, and learn the techniques from me, and get some ideas about different paintings. So I hope that helps you all. And um, let's see what you all like. Jackie says she likes the blue. Janet says she likes the same ones that I like. All right, good. And yeah, let me know what you like. And let me know if you learned anything today. And thank you all for being here today. And I will see you next time on New Technique Wednesday. Bye, y'all. Have a great day.